Okay folks, Quick Dick McDick coming to you from Saskatchewan here, and everyone's like, Quick Dick, where the hell have you been? How come you're not posting any videos? And my answer to that is, well, we've been a little bit busy with harvest. It's kind of hard to explain what harvest is and how many different varieties of crop we harvest here in Saskatchewan, especially here on the Barley Ranch. And I figured, you know what better way to show you around harvest than squeezing an entire harvest season into one video? And then I realized there's absolutely no way I can squeeze it all into one video, and it's going to be a little while before we're done harvest, so I figured, what the hell, let's do two parts. We're going to do part one, which is going to bring us up to where we're at here right now, and then part two will be the conclusion of harvest. So here we go, let's rock and roll. We're starting this year off with green peas, and pea harvest is dirty. Now you'll notice that we're not using a cart, and that's because you don't want to handle the peas very much. We're taking them off pretty close to dry, and the more you crack and split them, the more you get docked. So we try and touch them as little as possible. And peas make up for about 20% of the acres that we farm. It's like, hey, Quick Dick, how many acres do you farm? Well, we farm all of the acres that we have. And then people are like, hey, Quick Dick, how do the peas run? Well, peas don't run. They kind of roll if you place them on an uneven table. So. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of peas for 2025. Get it on. As soon as peas are done, combines get moved home, and we gotta blow out all the air filters and cab filters on the combines. And then as soon as we get the combines ready to go, we switcheroo over to barley. So we got onto the barley. It's been a little bit of chaos. I didn't get a chance to video the start of it, but as you can see, we've been going here. A little bit of lodged barley here in places, which is usually a kind of a good sign, means it's heavy. Now, obviously, we're dropping the straw here because all of our barley straw out here, we bale. So some of it we were able to take straight, and then some of it we had to swath. Just too much undergrowth, really green straw, so we came in and swathed it, let it lay down for a little while, and then we came and picked it up. Now, we use barley strictly for feed here, and we bale all of our barley straw because we use the barley straw in the feedlot in the wintertime. And a really cool thing this year is we bought a cowboy combine, which is a conventional combine versus a rotary for a little bit better straw quality. And here's what it looks like combining barley if you're a cowboy. Now, don't forget, if you got a cowboy combine, you got to do some cowboy shit behind it. Oh, yes. All right, so barley, we got wrapped up. Great crop this year. Everything went good. The barley accounts for about 10% of our acres here, but we split it. I mean, some of it we silage, and then what we don't silage, we combine, and we use all of it for feed throughout the course of the winter for the cattle. And then immediately following barley, we had the swather going while we were working on peas and barley, and it's time to head on over to oats. Oh, hey, blue ball. Now you're thinking to yourself, hey, Quick Dick, like, I mean, that's looking pretty green underneath. Like, what are you guys doing? Well, one of the reasons we swathed it is because it is so green underneath, but we meant it to be green underneath, because if you remember this spring when I did the video when we were seeding this, We underseeded this to a pasture forage blend so we can make it into hay next year. We use the oats for a nurse crop. So as you can see here, we got a pretty darn good catch on it. And hopefully, if everything goes right, this is gonna be a big, beautiful hay crop next year. Now, we were making good time and had pretty dry weather, but... And every now and then, that prickle just blowing with a thunder shower and just shut everything down. And of course, when you get a little rain delay, next morning turns into herd health check to see how everybody's doing, which these girls are all looking really good here. They got lots of salt, brought them a little treat here. There's a few missing we're gonna have to go find. I found a couple of stragglers over here. Probably a few more. We'll keep driving here. Ha ha ha! Found them. Okay, we'll give them a treat too. Well, now we just got a traffic jam going on here. Come on, girls. I gotta get back through here. What are we doing here? So, like, all in all, the flies are terrible this year. But, all in all here, there's a couple that are looking a little thin, but their calves look really good. That's how they're gonna start looking this time of year. And I don't know, it couldn't ask for much better. And people ask me why I drive Marty here. Well, I drive Marty because, first of all, he's carbureted. Second of all, you gotta have a truck that you're not afraid to get beat up a little bit to come out and check the girls. You know what I mean? A couple of scratches, some dents, a calf gets his head stuck down in the fender, everything's fine. All right, but if the cows and calves are good, it's time to get back onto the combine. Let's finish them oats off. Good old oats, eh? You know, we got that thunder shower. And we had this little 10-acre piece left to do here, and we just couldn't get her done. So we're getting her done here today, and that's the finish line on oats right there for 2025. Now, oats make up about 16% of our seeded acres, and everyone's like, well, quick Dick, how did your oats yield? Well, oats don't yield. You ever met them at an intersection? Those bastards will just blow right through. You gotta watch them. So there we have it. Oats in the bin. Which means we've only got 2 crops left, and it is time to move on to wheat. So sure, we got going on the wheat, but it was a little bit tough. But we had it swapped because we're saving it for seed, and they got rain forecasted for the next couple of days. So we kicked the dryer into gear here, and we took it off a little bit tough, put it through the dryer, and we're gonna have the swaths all picked up. It can rain, it can do what it wants to do, and then we'll worry about standing wheat later on. So here we are, drying some wheat. So the dryer is actually a pretty slick unit. Now, we don't use it that often. We only use it when we absolutely need it. And how this works is, oh, hey, Blue Ball. We'll unload the wet grain that we get out of the field down into this auger and up into this bin. We call this the wet bin. And then there's an auger underneath the wet bin that takes the wet grain up into the dryer. See, it's a pretty slick unit. It's just there's this little area in here between these 2 screens that fills up. You can see there's some wheat still on the bottom. And there's just this big chamber of air in the middle, and there's a blower right there where the hot air comes in. The propane burns in there, fan blows the air in here, out through the screens, and it dries the wheat that's in between the 2 layers of screens. Then once it runs its cycle in the dryer, it automatically unloads itself down into this auger, which goes up into there. We call that the dry bin. And then out of the dry bin, we pull that back down into Blue Ball, and then we'll transfer it back over here into one of these bins back here. Once you get everything set on this rig, it basically does it all itself, and it just continually keeps cycling itself through and through and through batches of wet and dry grain. And sometimes it doesn't, and then you need good friends like Derek and Jared to keep pulling you out of hot messes. Right, boys? Right? So that's it, folks. We're back on wheat. Everything's test and dry, going straight into the bin. And that's going to bring us up to the wrap on this first part of harvest of 2025. We got about 500 acres of wheat to take off here, and then we're switching over to canola, and she is canola all the way to the finish line. So if you got any questions, I just went through a whole bunch of stuff really fast. I just wanted to make sure y'all knew that I was still alive and putting videos out to the internet. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments below, and I'll try and answer them when I do the part 2 to this video. It might not be my next video, but when I do the part 2, I'll pick some good questions and see if I can't answer them right on the video. This is Quick Dick McDick signing off, reminding you, Editing and uploading videos is always the hardest when you're trying to keep up to 3 combines with 2 blue balls at harvest. Oh, hey, blue ball and new ball. Catch you next time. Oh, grain got tough tonight. Figured I might as well cook some lunch for the next couple days. Someday I'll find a pierogi pincher to feed me.